is that we enjoy questions. We got to have them to make the show worthwhile, because if you're going to listen to me, Kent, or Chris for 25 minutes, it's going to get boring. Pretty boring. So before I go any further, does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask about these horses? Yes, sir.
How old is that horse?
How old is this horse? This horse is about 7 years old. Do you know how you tell the age of a horse? You look at their teeth. And you can tell the age of a horse by looking at the teeth, because they do, they age pretty well. And I am really good at this. Man, come here. You open up really wide. You're 39. There you go. I'm not big. Anybody else have a question? Yes, ma'am. Are they often branded? Okay, all the wild horses are branded after they are captured, but they are free branded. And if you'll look on Pearl's neck up here, you will see her free brand right across here. Now, this is her UPC code, if you will. Anything and everything you want to know about Pearl, you can find out in this brand. Where she was captured, what state she was captured in, what team captured her, where did she go for adoption, who adopted her, and where she should be now. And my good friend Miss Lee over there has a card that goes into further detail on these freeze brands. If you're interested, come by and see us after the show. All right, thank you for asking that question. And I've got a gift for you too, dear. Do you have horses?
We had a Mustang when I was young.
But do you have horses now?
No.
Okay.
Grandchildren.
I'm getting grandchildren. Well, if I had a switch, I'd get that. Anybody else have it? Yes, sir.
Do you saddle break these?
Do I saddle break these horses? Well, I don't break any horses at all. I have a problem with that word broke, because if my car is broke, I've got to get it fixed, correct? Okay. Okay, train horses. Well, you know, that's the end result of having a horse, is to ride the horse, correct? That's the end result that you want to do. So yes, that is my goal, is to ride every horse I train. But that's not my primary objective, because there's a whole lot more to it. I know horses that people can get on their back and ride, but they can't walk behind them. They can't lift their tail. I want to be able to touch my horse any place at any time without any fear from her or me. You know, it's one of those things to where I believe that a horse likes leadership, okay? But for you, sir, I'm going to try to ride this horse right now, okay? All right, now I hope everybody, okay, they're on the edge of the seats. Hey, how about that? Yes, any horse that's old enough that I've trained, I do ride. Okay. All right. Yes, ma'am.
Where did she come from?
She comes from the great state of Wyoming, a herd management area called Divide Basin, which is about 60 miles east of a town named Rock Springs. Do you know what happened in Rock Springs, Wyoming? All about the turn of the century. Don't ask him. Have you ever heard of Tom Horn? That's where Tom Horn was hung. Okay? All right. Yes, son. How long does it normally take to train one? Well, you train your horse every time you with your horse, whether good or bad. Now, every horse is a little bit different. Everybody's training approach is a little bit different. I should be able to, I mean, my goal, if I do everything properly on the ground, getting on their back ain't no big deal, okay? But it has to be with building that trust and confidence. When I first get one of these horses, now these horses are wild. I'm being very serious about this. If you can imagine turning a deer loose in your kitchen, that's how wild these horses are. They're pretty wild. But and that's why we have to have certain size limits on the pen when you first get these horses. But I'll have my horse, these wild horses, I'll turn them loose, let them calm down. Let them get over the trailer ride and all that. Let them rest for about a day. Then I'll get me a book. And I'll go out there and I'll sit me on a stool. And I'll sit down, go around. I'll sit down and I'll start reading this book. Pretty soon this horse will come up behind me and smell of it. I ignore it. Okay? Pretty soon the horse will come around to the side just like this. I still ignore it. Horses are like women, they hate to be ignored. Next thing I know, she'll be right up in my face, and I'll reach up and scratch her on the head. And I'll keep reading my book. I don't pay no attention to her. Pretty soon she wants more, and I can, from the time I can scratch her, all this, I start touching her all over, and from that point on, I can put a halter on her, and we start training. Now, my approach is I want to be able to control her feet, a horse's feet. If I can control her feet, I can control everything else. Okay, so you know, like when I was stopped right here when I was on her back, she was turning her head. That didn't bother me. But you notice she kept her feet still. I want to be able to control her feet. That's what happens in a horse herd. When you have one leader in a horse herd, you generally have an old mare, which is the leader of the herd. She controls the other horse's feet. When another horse wants to be part of that herd, she keeps that horse walking around the outside, moving her feet. Okay, and so that's what I do. Now one thing, and I'll show this real quick, horses don't like things that move under their feet, like a teeter-totter. Can y'all see this teeter-totter? It moves a lot. That scares the horse to death. So for a horse to be able to walk on a teeter-totter and do anything with it moving shows you how much trust these horses have. I don't have no trouble with any of my horses ever loading or anything like that. When you hear me kiss, that's her cue to move her feet. Give her another claw.